I hope I've done this right. Hey guys, we're doing some live Q&A. We'll keep this brief, 15-20 minutes, and we're almost there at 10,000 subscribers. So if you know anyone that can benefit from the information shared on this channel, then do share a video with them that they may find informative. I want to touch on some of the points that we addressed yesterday in our live stream because there were a few questions that I wanted to just touch on. Firstly, somebody asked Tonkat Alley, where do I get it? I like the Nootropics Depot type. I would recommend that you don't get the powdered form. Get it in the capsule form because it's horribly bitter. It tastes absolutely awful. That's the one I use. I just use 200 to 300 milligrams once in the morning. I would recommend that you take it with some calories, even if it's just some BCAAs. If you're somebody that fasts, maybe a little bit of whey protein, but otherwise expect it to taste really bad. And if you do take it fasted, then you may experience like a little bit of an upset stomach. It can actually induce like a vomiting type of uncomfortable feeling. So that's Tonkat Ali. Once a day seems to make it work well. And wow, we got 11 people on this pretty quickly. Hey guys, let me know who's here, where you're from, and let me know if there's a question that you have in mind. Second question that I wanted to address from yesterday. Someone asked, really good question. So with Concerta, which is the prescription, you can say pill used to enhance your focus. It's a lot of students take it to just get more done and cram. So here's a question: if you're studying using Concerta, should you take Concerta during the day of the test? And that's a really good question. With Concerta, I would say in most cases yes, because if you don't do that, then then you're experiencing like that withdrawal, that energy come down during that day when you're taking the test. So is if you're used to taking it for like 30, 60, maybe even 90 days straight, and then you don't take it for that one day, you'll mentally feel a little bit off. You'll actually, you'll feel this brain fog, and your memory will be, you can say, like not on point. So it was my experience that taking it the day of the test did make it such that I was, performing at a better level. But if we look at things on the other side of the spectrum, then there's that question of, okay, if you're not using Concerta during the time you're studying, should you take Concerta the day of the test? And I would say absolutely not. That's just a big risk because you're not used to taking the stuff in the first place. Let me know if that's clear though. Next, somebody asked, why did you stop taking seroquel? Seroquel is kind of like Abilify. It's almost like a mood stabilizer. A lot of people use it who have some sort of mental disorder, whether it's bipolar, whether it's schizophrenia, something like that. One sec. Hello. Yeah, I'm on the live stream. Bye. Can you guys hear me okay? I think somebody called to tell me that it's not working. Why did I stop taking seroquel? Just specifically because if you're taking a mood stabilizer, then it can numb down your emotions to some extent. You'll feel kind of like a zombie. It's uncomfortable, to say the least. Although if you're getting good benefit from seroquel, if it's fixing your sleep, if it's making it such that you feel safer on it, especially if you're somebody that is that has had like a bipolar episode and you have a little bit of anxiety about getting another cycle of mania or maybe a cycle of depression, and you feel that seroquel is helping you just to normalize your emotions, then sure, it can be decent. Somebody asked, with Phenibut, can you build a tolerance only taking it twice a week? I would say no. It's not to be concerned about if it's a dose like 500 milligrams to maybe a gram. However, with Phenibut, more and more people are commenting that Phenibut HCl, specifically from Nootropics Depot, isn't working that well, to which a lot of people comment across this channel saying that the lift mode Phenibut is a lot better. So I'm going to give that a try as well, let you know how that goes. Somebody addressed SAMe and was wondering what my thoughts are on SAMe for mood elevation. I think it's pretty strong stuff. I would just say be cautious because there's people who have reported taking SAMe as well as St. John's wort and getting into like a depression or getting into like a strange kind of mood uplifted period. So just be careful with that. I have a question for all of you. Has it been your experience with L-theanine and L-tyrosine that it's built some sort of tolerance? Because it hasn't been my experience, but I'm seeing it again and again on the channel. Maybe 30 to 40% of people or viewers are saying that they're building a tolerance with L-theanine or L-tyrosine, which I find pretty damn cool. And I got one more thing I want to address, but we got enough questions up in here, so I will just go and address it. Hey guys, what is going up? What is going on? 3Bet Panda, Terret, Dexter, Eliran, Tolkera, West Asian, Ray John, Scuff, Eliran, Kavesh. Super cool. Okay, I'm gonna just browse through the questions. Yo, how's it going? Yo, what do you think about boron and Shilajit for testosterone? Have you tried it or researched it? Why is everybody asking about Shilajit lately? Did something come up? Guys, don't mind just giving this a thumb up. We're almost there at 10,000 subscribers. We're like 1 or 2 days away. And whatever we can do to get there a little bit faster would be awesome. What about Bacopa? So, Terret, the research on Shilajit shows that it has some good evidence showing it can slightly boost your testosterone levels. I mean, I've tried it in a number of different forms. It has not done too much for me, but I'm welcome to somebody telling me that I should give it another shot. What about Bacopa? Should you take it on exam days? Yes. Tolkera, with Bacopa, that is different than Concerta entirely in that Bacopa is something that you would pretty much take, you can take for a long time without worrying too much about having to cycle off of it, kind of like ashwagandha. It's not man-made, it's naturally occurring, it's a herb. I think Bacopa is one of the more healthier nootropics you could take. What do you think of modafinil? Are there any nootropics close to the effects of it if I want extra focus in gaming? It's a good question. With modafinil, is for all of you gamers, is modafinil actually something that's beneficial? I've got a new video on modafinil coming out, specifically on is modafinil right for you? And we address a lot of scenarios in which modafinil may be beneficial and a lot of scenarios in which it won't be. And we actually talk about different job occupations and which sort of job occupation or what kind of activities would you benefit under the influence of modafinil. So as far as it for gaming, I think it could be decent because you're stimulated and that's what you want to be when you are gaming. You don't want to get any sort of fatigue. You don't want to, you want to just pretty much be on point, be sharp all the time. So I hate to say it, but pretty much stimulants are the best things when it comes to gaming. And of course, being sure that you're hydrated. Pramrastam and Noopept are good for exams for me. Okay, very cool. See, I never tried Noopept back in the day when I was in school, or I took it periodically, so I did not know that. But I would imagine that it would be pretty effective. Hey there, man. I'm really trying to get out of Provigil. I'm scared about long night effects. Been on it a year now, but taking half a tab here and there. Kavish, yeah, what so is when it comes to prescription meds, do what's best for you. I mean, if you can stop them cold turkey, that's what I've done, but kind of crazy. And I know it's difficult for a lot of people. If you are to get off of it, then the way you're doing it, taking, a tab here and there, eventually just taking, maybe a few days off, well, 1 day on, and then the ideal way is find some other nootropics that you can use instead of the prescriptions, because during the period of bipolar, when I was experiencing up and downs, my objective was just to like get off meds in any sort of way. And I was okay taking other nootropics basically to supplement, to like use them as substitutes, and they worked out well. It's working. I started to raise my dose of tyrosine from 500 milligrams to 1 gram with my pre-workout. How can I know for sure if I built a tolerance? Peace boy, how can you know for sure? I don't know. You just have to take it consecutively for enough days and you'll get to figure. There's a big difference between 500 milligrams and 1 gram. With 1 gram, you can almost be so focused that it becomes hard to concentrate on your lifting because it's this strange tunnel vision. It's like you're too focused to even think, and if that makes sense, especially when you are using it with caffeine. I have found that the one benefit with taking more tyrosine is it does last longer. Let me know, guys, if that's your experience as well. 500 milligrams of L-tyrosine, which is like a low dose, versus 1 gram, which would usually be 2 500 milligram caps. The use from brand Namek, same as Nootropic Steeple. The effects. Eliran, what are you referring to? Okay, you're talking to somebody else. Sorry about that. Are you afraid of the speculated very high estrogenic effect of Rhodiola rosea? They speculate that it could be used for delaying and or lessen the effects of menopause. John, no, not yet, because that sort of feeling of having the high estrogenic effect. Excuse me, that's a tongue twister. You'll know what it feels like because you can get that feeling elicited from some nootropics. Like I remember when I was taking phosphatidylserine, taking enough of it made you feel that way, and you do feel a little bit off your focus, and you know, it's just you don't feel right. And if I've had felt that a few times with Rhodiola rosea, then sure I'd be a little bit concerned. But from now, then it's just speculation, and that's what this channel is for. This is a good community, so if you feel otherwise, then do let me know, and it's something that we can all pay attention to together. SAMe produced naturally in the body. I don't know how much is dangerous. SAMe is it's a really tricky supplement. A lot of people don't use it often. I've been taking, Ray John Scuff says, I've been taking L-theanine and L-tyrosine for about 6 months and built no tolerance to it at all. That's the same as me. But again, this is I'm hearing this more, you know, it's more than once. Even on Quora, it's often reported. If you guys don't know Quora, that's a pretty good place just to look up nootropics. Look at a place where people post questions and then other people answer pretty regularly. That's Quora, like Quora.com, and just browse Quora nootropics, and there's some good Q&A over there. So L-tyrosine and L-theanine, yeah, I haven't. L-theanine and L-tyrosine, for those of you who don't know, they are amino acids. So it's amino acid. It's a protein building block. It's something you can say is healthy. It's not man-made. And L-theanine is really going to help you to stay relaxed, specifically when you're taking stimulants. Like the ideal way in which people use L-theanine is when you're taking coffee or caffeine, because the L-theanine can calm you, whereas the stimulants can energize you, and you're getting a nice balance and you're in a productive state. Whereas L-tyrosine, that's another amino acid that's really good. Think of it like a natural version of caffeine, a caffeine which isn't going to keep you up, so you're not too stimulated, but you're getting focus, the drive, and the energy boost. And they are two really good nootropics. L-theanine was definitely more popular before L-tyrosine was, but I remember, I think it was 5-6 years ago, I was telling everybody about L-tyrosine. Like, man, why is nobody taking this stuff? Because it is crazy. And the way that I found it was specifically just from pre-workout products, because they all contain them. Are there any? Eliran says, Tolkera, nice, you are super smart. Hey, yeah, man, we got a lot of smart people up on this channel. That is what makes it unique. Any recommendations for Tomcat Alley brand? Is there going to be any follow-up video for Tomcat Alley? Peace, boy. I'm assuming that you jumped on this live stream late, because I'll leave the live stream up. The first minute was dedicated to Tomcat Alley because I did see those questions up on the live stream yesterday. Guys, again, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so do share the channel with like one person because it can make the difference. We're at like 9,900, and man, we just want to get there now. I can see it, and it's like, what's the next milestone? Who knows? Shilajit versus Tomcat. Tomcat, because Shilajit, again, I've tried it a number of times, but again, with Tomcat, I did try that a few times as well before noticing it did much, because it's known, I think the other name of it is called Long Jack, and Long Jack is in a lot of different nootropic blends, excuse me. L-theanine, Abdullah says, L-theanine works for me initially, and then after a few days, it makes me tired. Very cool. Eliran, thank you very much for doing another live stream. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy these too. It's just good. It's good knowing that all of you find it beneficial as well. Lion's mane with organ. Good thing to look for when binds lines. Dexter, honestly, just get the 8-to-1 with lion's mane. It's just get the 8. Just get the 8-to-1. Forget everything else. It's a waste of even looking at. But L-tyrosine 500 milligrams works more long-term than L-theanine for me. Abdullah, they're not really to be compared because they do different things. L-theanine is going to calm you. L-tyrosine is going to hype you up. I can't really understand why you would want to mix them both. So what Abdullah is saying is that L-tyrosine works more long-term, which, yeah, that does kind of make sense. But as well, keep in mind that L-theanine is regularly used like only when you're taking stimulants, right? Vant says, hey, bro, thoughts on adrafinol? Good for mood, good for a little bit more focus, although it only works for like 6, maybe 8 hours max. And following the 8 hours, you will get very irritable. You're going to want to strangle somebody. Your face will turn red. You aren't in a good state anymore. So depending on what kind of work you're doing, adrafinol arguably can make you have a little bit more focus, a little bit more concentration, help you to fight fatigue. I would really only use it if I'm sleep deprived and I don't have modafinil, I don't have anything else which can help me out. Tyrosine is the only nootropic I've tried that has no effect on no effect for me. That is so funny. The only nootropic you've tried? I've tried so many nootropics that don't have an effect on me. So we just have a different definition of nootropic, I suppose. Have you tried hydrapinol? No, I haven't. 3-bet panda, if L-tyrosine is not working for you, that's completely cool. I have seen people report using L-tyrosine fasted and then them seeing results from it. And the other way in which the way in which I really like it is, let's say it's the end of the day when I don't want to take caffeine, but I know I need a little bit of like a focus improvement. I want to fight off some stress and have some clear-mindedness. That's when L-tyrosine is really beneficial. And experience regarding caffeine Altheanine, how long does the effect last? About 2 hours. Let me know if I'm wrong on that, guys. About within 15 to 20 minutes, you get like a slight mood improvement, and then you can say 25, maybe 30 minutes in, you can feel it working, more focus, more energy, definitely better mood, and a lot more confidence. That is one thing with caffeine that you can't find across other nootropics. This unreal optimism, you're very courageous, you're going to want to do work, which you'll typically find a little bit uncomfortable. I've tried hydrapinol, okay. I'm new here, but I just ordered Qualia based on your video recommendation. Can't wait to see how it feels. Well, I hope you used my affiliate link, Mr. Vance, and you got the 15% off. I took Qualia caffeine-free today. It's pretty cool. I like the fact that Qualia has the caffeine-free version, because then I can use it later in the day, and I can also take it with the caffeine and L-theanine. So Qualia Mine specifically, we're talking 25 to 28 ingredients. Has pretty much everything. I've done a video on Qualia Mine. Doesn't have the racetams, though. I think for obvious reasons, just that the racetams, they may not be comfortable with selling overseas, specifically to Europe, where you can get the racetams. And otherwise, I don't like that they don't have ashwagandha. Although I can kind of understand why ashwagandha. It's not always the best thing when it comes to improving your productivity. It's more really for fighting off stress. They do have phosphatidylserine, which is gonna help you decrease your cortisol levels either way. So the ideal way to kind of work around Qualia Mine, use your Qualia Mine. Maybe you can add some ashwagandha if you get a better. Maybe you can add the racetams as well, and then perhaps caffeine and L-theanine if you just want a little bit more caffeine. Or alternatively, they have the caffeine-free one, which is pretty much the exact same thing, which is really cool. Hey, Mike, is Bacopa noticeable in modafinil and phenylparacetam? And also, can we take Moda when we're off of phenyl? We can take Moda off of phenyl. I think that's what makes them really special. Is like, for instance, specifically when you're in like a period where you're just feeling low energy for whatever reason it is. Maybe if for religious purposes you're fasting for a month, that's where these two nootropics are brilliant, because you can use modafinil some days, you can use phenylparacetam some other days, and you can find out what's working. And maybe perhaps if you're comfortable with it, you can even try taking a little bit of both, just very small amounts. Because I'm doing that pretty often. Well, not too often, but when I need it. And if you were to ask, is Bacopa noticeable with modafinil and phenylparacetam? I'm still playing with that. I'm not entirely sure. I find that Rhodiola Rosea is a little bit more. I can tell it working a little bit more with Bacopa, because it's one of those herbs which takes a long time to start working. For a lot of people, it takes 10, 14 days to start working. That's why you would still want to take Bacopa, just because you want to keep it somewhat saturated in your system. You may not get the acute benefits like the decreased stress, but I find that taking Bacopa later in the day. So if I were to take my modafinil, say at 10 a.m., but if I take my modafinil at like 10 a.m., I would use Bacopa maybe around like 6 p.m. And yeah, I can notice it working sometime then, because again, you want to be consistent with your Bacopa, so you can still get the benefits with your memory. Let me know if that was clear, Kala Devi, and I appreciate that question, because no offense, but you have a lot of repetitive questions that I don't typically like answering, but that was a good one, sir. Farhad, what is up? Hey, Mike, what do you think about uridine? I read a study that uridine upregulates dopamine receptors. I'm not sure about it for that specific purpose. I think if you're taking choline, then uridine is probably not necessary to supplement with. But let me know, guys, if you disagree with that. I'm hearing some people say that uridine is good, but more often than not, people seem to try uridine and then they get off of it and just go back to taking a choline source and don't really touch it again. Conrad says, hey, Mike, thoughts on this stack? Guys, this is good. Let me know if you want me to look at your stack. You're welcome just to put in 7 or 8 nootropics and ask me how often to take them. Ask me if there's any good substitutes there. But I'm going to look at Conrad's right now. So you can scroll up. He has a nice pink logo, pink Google icon thingy. His stack looks like, I think, 8 things. Lion's Mane, Noopept, LTyrosine, CDP choline, resveratrol, pterostobine, I don't know if I'm pronouncing, and lithium orotate. That, I mean, it's what I like about that stack is it's a good productivity stack, but it's going to depend a lot on your work. If you're taking the L-tyrosine, then I would say, and the Noopept, take that stack twice a day and you should be pretty good. Especially when you're using choline. Resveratrol, I'm not sure why you're using it. A lot of people have asked about resveratrol on the channel. I don't really know. I don't know if I'd call it a nootropic. It's more just something which is going to help you with your health. It's especially good for anti-aging and as an antioxidant. If there's studies out there on resveratrol helping in any other way with cognition, then I want to know more about that though. What about, in your opinion, would you say aniracetam is safe to take daily for long-term usage? I think so. I've not built a tolerance with aniracetam. It seems to still work as effectively, specifically for like anti-anxiety and social anxiety. Come to think of it, almost like a safer version of Phenibut, whereas Phenibut, yes, it's stronger for social anxiety, but then you can be, you should be somewhat just conscious of the tolerance which you can build up and the bad withdrawals that a lot of people get with Phenibut. It can feel like alcohol in a pill. You just kind of, something just feels off. Like it's not good to drive under the influence of Phenibut, whereas aniracetam, you get this nice improvement of focus. This, again, like social improvement. You're more courageous. You're more courageous. You're willing to get a little bit out of your comfort zone. And I like taking it like 500 milligrams twice a day. With aniracetam, one thing you can say, one thing to debunk, you don't really need to take it with a fat source. Some people say they should take, you should take it with a fat source, maybe some MCT oil. Has been my experience that it makes a big difference. With aniracetam, I actually like taking it fasted, but ideally, if you mix aniracetam with piracetam, you can really tell that it's working well. If you are wondering the way in which I would take it, I'm typically taking it something like 2 months on daily, and then followed by maybe 10 to 14 days off, and then I'll just reset. Doesn't Shilajit increase yohimbine versus rawolskine for losing weight? I'm totally conflicted about this, guys, because I know some people want to know about losing weight, whereas for a lot of people, they don't really care too much. And is that the actual name? What the heck is Roloskine? Can somebody tell me? Because this must be a name for something else. Or is it yohimbine? Let me know about that, Raul, and I'll get back to that question just because I want to be respectful of everyone else. Dude, I never had the irritability like that from adrafinol. I'll try it again, adrafinol. The way in which I was using was like 300 milligrams. Tyrosine had the best honeymoon phase for me. What are the nootropics that work great for others and not for you? Caladevi, a perfect example would be Phenibut HCl. A lot of people notice this, very strong anti-anxiety effect. Maybe just because I'm somebody that's doesn't really have too much of a concern about anxiety in the first place. Other than that, can't really think of too much. Has Tonkat ever made you lethargic? Stay down, yes, when I have taken it fasted in the past, or I've taken a little bit too much. Although that uncomfortable feeling, doesn't seem to last too long. We're talking 15, maybe 20 minutes tops, and then you seem like kind of back to normal. Drink a lot of water, and if you don't want to eat, you want to continue with your fast, if you're fasting, then try this hack. Just take a little bit of sea salt, like half a teaspoon, and you should be good. Have you tried MSM? It is good for bone formation, muscle recovery, and it's pretty cheap. Eliram, yeah, because when they typically sell glucosamine, it's usually sold with MSM. So I think even now the glucosamine which I have is glucosamine plus MSM. Yeah, really powerful stuff, especially if you're somebody that does heavy squats, heavy deadlift, and you have like some sort of uncomfort, whether it's like your lower back or a lot of people it's elbow or even shoulder. I think MSM and glucosamine is like a must because you never know. And I've never been injured despite going to the gym and like weight training for a good 10, 15 years now. You say the man, I consider ashwagandha my most productive nootropic. That is right. Supplements for bone health, Eliran, I think that's what you're talking about. I recently started taking ashwagandha about 2 weeks ago. It makes me sneeze a lot. By the way, Raul, I'm going to look out for your comment because I don't think you followed up with your other question about Yohimbine. Have you tried using genetic data from 23andMe? I have not. Is this a real thing? There's resveratrol and testosterone boosters, but it's... Yeah, Shivam, I agree with you entirely. I don't know why they're adding resveratrol in testosterone boosting products, but perhaps it's just because of for that like subtle difference which it can make. It's not something which is going to make a big difference in the grand scheme of things, but for marketing purposes, it's the same reason why pretty much on some, you can say, supplements in the bodybuilding world, they will add like a little bit more BCAAs just to put that in their marketing hype. Do you have a Discord server? No, I do not, although perhaps I should. What is the best nootropic for effortless conversation? Tyson, that depends, because if you're somebody that's dealing with anxiety, then you need to address that with like something like aniracetam or Phenibut. But in most cases, it's just because you don't have enough drive and you don't have any goal to do something. Whereas if you're in a position like you are going to make no money unless you sell something, you're forced to be so driven to have to talk to somebody about something that will put you in that direction, right? So if you do work on your just drive, your energy, and your ambition to succeed, then everything else, all that noise is kind of minimized. Let me know if that makes sense. Have you ever megadosed lion's mane? If so, what was it like? Yeah, Nathan, I think I've megadosed pretty much everything that was not like a stimulant. Lion's mane, the racetams, Noopept. I didn't notice anything, too profound, you can say. Nothing crazy. Pretty much just what you'd expect, anti-anxiety. I don't think that for me anyway, I don't think taking like 500 milligrams of lion's mane was too much different than taking like 2 or 3 grams of lion's mane. And I probably have done that in the past. Have you tried 9-MEBC? No, I have not. Hello, does Adderall feel any different from methylphenidate? No, it just lasts longer and maybe a little bit more of a mood uplift. What's the highest dose of Phenibut that you've tried? I have tried 4 grams, maybe 5 grams of the HCl, not the other type. When are you going to put out your own stack? My own stack or my own blend? Because you can find my nootropic stack is on my Patreon page, which I don't post there too often. The Patreon is just used if you want to direct message me. Sorry for all of you that message me on Instagram. I try to get to the messages, but there's just new ones coming at me more faster than I can kind of handle. So if you do comment on the videos, then that's the best way, because if there's messages kind of from all over. There's YouTube comments, there's Instagram, then there's Facebook, and then there's Patreon, whereas the preference is always going to be Patreon first, then YouTube comments, and then all elsewhere. So as far as my whole stack, that's still there on Patreon. It's an old post from March or April. If you can't find it, then just direct message me and I can put it out there. I've tried... Hey, Mike, please make a review on centrophenoxine. Yeah, I can do that, although I haven't used it for a damn long time. Hi, General is recommended to not take nootropics on an empty stomach. No, I think there's a few nootropics you should stay away from on an empty stomach, like Tonkat Ali, but most cases not. I think like 80 to 90% of the nootropics actually work better when you're fasted. The only ones I'd be a little bit concerned about are specifically if you're thin, if you're somebody that does have issues with their blood sugar, they get a little bit like these energy highs, energy lows, then be a little bit cautious of things like RALA, anything which can stabilize your insulin levels, like chromium, maybe even apple cider vinegar, things like that. Although you should be fine. Can you recommend some unusual and rare supplements for testosterone boosting? Well, yeah, the rare and unusual one which works for me is Tribulus. I take that every single day, once in the morning and once in the evening. And my sex drive is pretty good despite kind of being like underweight. And what else? I mean, yeah, that works well. Test Freak is a really good is the best testosterone booster which I've used personally. And I've tried like taking shots, and I've tried a lot for testosterone. I've had like tested low testosterone in the past. Then I took shots and I was on the higher side. I had too much testosterone, so you kind of experience that cascade of different emotions. It's pretty crazy. Shivam, I don't really know of any unusual ones though. But the blends, most of them don't really do anything. And if you're somebody that has normal to low levels of testosterone, you may notice just a slight mood improvement, but nothing crazy. DMAE, is that the same thing as DMAA? Let me know, Elian. If you ever take a break, do you ever take a break from all nootropic use? If so, what are clear signs for you? That's a pretty common question, surprisingly. People think I've just been taking nootropics like my whole life. Chill. No, I've gone long periods of time when taking time off nootropics. Although I think the past year or so, since the beginning of 2019, I've been pretty consistent. I've not gone more than like 3 weeks off. 2018 though, I did go like 3-4 months off. So what I've experienced from taking a clear long break of like no nootropics is what you'd expect. Just less ambition, pretty much. Your cognition, like you're still sharp, but now I have this ability to be sharp kind of throughout the whole day thanks to nootropics. So what they're going to help do is they will keep you in the zone for a longer period of the day, and you wake up with a little bit more drive. You just kind of feel more on point. So specifically what I would expect, if you were to tell me get off of nootropics from now until the end of the year, instead of putting maybe 10 hours of work in a day, I'd probably be working 7 to 8 hours, and my work wouldn't be as efficient. That's all, pretty much. How do you block the negative feedback? I don't know the answer to that. If he only had one nootropic, what would that be? Man, I don't know. If right now it would be Cytomel, because of my damn low thyroid. I need that stuff. I meant like his own alpha brain package to sell. Yeah, Vance, I've been thinking about that. If I can find a simple way of doing it, perhaps in the future, but that would just stop me from making good content, and I'm really enjoying that right now. This YouTube thing is pretty damn fun. Greetings from Slovenia. What is your opinion on krill oil? Krill oil better than fish oil. As far as fish oil, I think most people just go with it because they're comfortable with it, and it's a lot less expensive. Do I think krill oil is significantly better? I'm not really. Was your memory better with the racetam stack than Bacopa? Kaladevi, specifically, it was like the racetam stack helped, Bacopa helped, but really what put my memory on steroids was practicing mindfulness meditation. I'm talking like the simple meditation, just focusing on your breathing, not music, or maybe like a guided meditation. It will just 10x your memory. It is pretty damn cool. When I was meditating a lot, for 1 year straight, I was doing it an hour a day. And man, I could tell you, it was just unreal how much you can remember when you have this clear-mindedness all the time. It's pretty damn cool. Yeah, man. Well, peace, boy. How did I miss your Patreon? Yeah, just because I don't really promote it because I don't put too much on there. It's pretty much just a Q&A type of thing, right? And if you want to be kind with the donation, but if not, it's all good. Yeah, I get moody in the afternoon. Can you recommend anything that will help me with the mood boost in the afternoon that won't make me unable to sleep? Nathan, the solution to that in most cases is just eat a lighter lunch instead of eating like a high carbohydrate lunch. What a lot of successful people do in business, sales, people who are some sort of entrepreneur, they've moved from that to either fasting or taking like a salad with a chicken breast, something like that. But assuming that your diet is in check, then take some Rhodiola Rosea, maybe some L-Tyrosine and green tea extract. I really like those, especially if you're somebody that isn't practicing intermittent fasting. Let me know if that was helpful. Will lion's mane help me be more spiritually inclined? Yeah, lion's mane will, L-theanine will as well, and go to church. I will get moody supplements for. Do you think that kratom is considered a nootropic? Yeah, without question. And Raul did not answer. What up, brother? What up, John? What up, Nathan? Have you tried the Wim Hof method? Yes, absolutely I have. Okay, one sec. I think I missed out a question. DMAE. Eliran, I don't think you followed up with your comment about DMAE. If you did, then let me know. Hi, man. Does maca cause an instant rise in libido, or is it slowly over time? Slowly over time. I think the only thing which is out there for like an instant rise is yohimbine, but that was not my experience that you would take yohimbine and have this like, huge, So have you tried the Wim Hof method? Yes. Wim Hof method is pretty damn popular. So specifically, it's like different breathing patterns you can use for more energy, more clear-mindedness, build a better version of yourself. My favorite Wim Hof method that he outlines in an article or a few different articles. It was in one of the Tim Ferriss books, and it was also it's in a few personal development books, but it's specifically like you go into a freezing cold shower and you breathe out and you breathe in like you do that about 30 times, and then you breathe out like you completely exhale. You turn the water on cold, you hold your breath out like for a good 5 seconds, and then you breathe in at once. And as that happens, you have the freezing cold water on you, and you just get this energy out of it. I can't say it as good as he does in that article, but I found that pretty damn cool. If you guys don't know who Wim Hof is, he's this Iceman freak of nature guy that can survive under any crazy low temperature. Great. The light lunch tip was a great tip. Good. Glad to know that was helpful. I did. Have you tried Polygana? No, I haven't. Eliran, are you asking, okay, DMAE plus central, is there a question there, or were you asking what are my thoughts on DMAE? Because if your question, wait, firstly, is DMAE the same thing as DMA? Because that is just where I was a bit lost. DMA is the same as 1,3-dimeth, right? Is that the same thing as DMA? Have you tried, do you need other sources of choline if you're taking alpha GPC? In most cases, no, John. However, with Qualia, what they've done is they've actually added 2 choline sources. They have CDP choline as well as alpha GPC. You can if you like to. A lot of people do say that alpha GPC is better for the physical benefit, whereas CDP choline is better for the mental benefit. I've not found that I need any other sort of choline source outside of alpha GPC, although there are others that have reported getting a bit of brain fog or even depression when taking too much alpha GPC. You kind of do need to find your sweet spot. I've found it's been my experience, like the more you work, the more you can tolerate alpha GPC and see the benefit from. So, okay. Yeah, okay, cool, Eliran. Yeah, that's all good. Thanks for clarifying. Why caffeine reduces the work I feel at day 1 but not feel day 3 or 4 much? Actually, maybe in that case you built a bit of a tolerance. So, Rao, specifically with yohimbine, are they good for weight loss? They can be, but they're really strong. And yohimbine, it can be a good appetite suppressant, but I don't think it's even as good as caffeine. Where yohimbine is good is maybe if you take it fasted and you do a little bit of cardio afterwards, it's good. Although where yohimbine is really needed, think of it as like a secret weapon to attack your stubborn body fat. So when you're in this cycle of trying to lose weight, you always want to set yourself up to beat your next plateau. So when you start losing weight, don't just immediately start doing cardio every single day and dramatically drop your calories. Drop it a little bit. When you hit your weight loss plateau, then you can drop a little bit more. And then eventually you can add yohimbine or you can add supplements to further enhance your fat loss, right? So the Q product is pretty good, the Qualia. Yeah, John, if you're on this channel and you've watched these videos and you've watched a lot of my content, then you're not somebody that needs Qualia, because my videos are people that don't really want to use nootropic blends. They want to understand nootropics maybe more at a deeper level. However, there is still that need just to get a good overall supplement for those days when you maybe a little bit busy, you don't have time to like be intentional about all your nootropics and weighing them out, or take, maybe if you're traveling, for example. That's where I think Qualia could be good. But to answer your question, is it good? Yeah, I think Qualia, they've pretty much taken most of the nootropics on my channel and the same doses and put them into one good blend. Like Rhodiola Rosea, 300 milligrams. I like Bacopa, 300 milligrams. I like, they've got the LTyrosine, although it's a little bit low. They've got vitamin B. They've got phosphatidylserine. They've got theobromine. They've got L-theanine. It's just a good overall nootropic. I did forget to mention earlier today when I was talking about Creatine, the one thing they have left out, which I don't know why, is lion's mane. So Cognetics, which is another supplement brand, which is another supplement product which I'm looking at as well, that actually has a lion's mane, but it doesn't have some of the ingredients that is found in Creatine. So ideally, if you want to optimize Creatine, you want to get those nootropics, which I mentioned earlier, and as well add some lion's mane, some 8-to-1 ideally. But yeah, it doesn't get too much better than Creatine as far as like getting all your nootropics in, get a good 3 to 4 hours of feeling like a, like a machine, right? Like a good, well-oiled machine. Another one, Conrad, another one with the Khaled voice. Lion's Mane, Noopept, CDP choline, tyrosine, L-theanine 100 milligrams, and B vitamin 312 low doses. Thoughts, Mike? Yeah, that looks pretty damn strong. That looks like a good stack. You can add some racetams if you're comfortable with it. The CDP choline is good. I'm trying to understand, Conrad, what this is used for, because this is looking good, especially for pre-workout purpose. This looks really solid. You got the B vitamin, the caffeine, the L-theanine, and you've got the tyrosine. With the stack, otherwise, just the one thing is if you're not exercising, this is going to physically energize you to the point that you may be a little bit distracted with all this energy that you don't know what to do with. It's good though. It's going to suppress your appetite, which is solid. Do you prefer aniracetam and ashwagandha and rhodiola rosea as a good stack? Yeah, that's a decent stack. You're going to get the memory benefit. You're going to go to fight fatigue, and you're definitely going to have a little bit of an increased motivation. Will enough nestle root extract free up 40% of total testosterone? Man, I have no idea. What is yohimbine? What is it used for besides appetite suppression? Libido is its promise, sexual drive, basically. Otherwise, fat loss. And some people like to think of it like a good pre-workout to lift more weight. I do not think so, because yohimbine, what you may not realize, it is really strong on the heart, like faster heart rate, almost uncomfort. I would never do intense cardio while taking yohimbine. I think that's really dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it. So specifically for weight loss, it will help you, and that's where most people use it, specifically in like the whole bodybuilding world. And it does have this unique benefit to elicit this euphoric feeling, which you won't get from caffeine. If you are to use yohimbine and caffeine and L-tyrosine together, you feel this this anxiety, but it's a good anxiety. It's a comfortable anxiety that you can still talk to people, but you'll notice you'll feel signs of being slightly anxious, like picking your nails or some sort of strange habit like that. Have you tried Chocomine from Nootropics Depot? I have tried it once, but it was a while ago. I don't even remember what it's like. Have you tried Nice and Flush? It's amazing. Oh my gosh, I heard a funny story about that. Nice and Flush, Nice and Flush. So if it's the same thing, Nice and Flush. Like the thing with niacin, it can be pretty harmful just depending on how much you're taking and who's taking it. We'll talk about that on another video though. Blueberry extract, omega-3 supplements, green tea extract, magnesium. Is that good enough for cognitive support? Nika, not really cognitive support, more so just general health, you can say. That looks like a good stack I would give my parents. I don't know if it's somebody I would give to myself that wants to make a lot of money and get a lot done. Have you experienced any combo extreme serotonergic reaction from? No, I have not. Looking for something to really focus so I can read technology books for 3 straight hours. Man, that's good. L-tyrosine and Rhodiola Rosea should pretty much, John, be enough for you. I would say if it was like 2 hours, then you're good with taking some caffeine. But because it's 3 hours, then you have to deal with like the up and the low, where you're probably better off without. You can look into caffeine and L-theanine, and that could be decent too. But the ideal way you would maybe go about that is like take some L-tyrosine, some Rhodiola Rosea at the beginning, and then about an hour afterwards, take a pill of caffeine and L-theanine. And yeah, those 3 hours, you should be good. What is a good stack or a simple nootropic for stress and concentration? Rhodiola Rosea, because you get the physical benefit as well as the mental benefit. That's Rosea, R-O-S-E-A. That still goes in my top 5 nootropics. It's been there. I would rate it higher than ashwagandha and higher than bacopa, maybe even higher than lion's mane. Because with Rhodiola Rosea, I can specifically say it's been my experience that it's made me money. It's made me get better grades. Like objectively on paper, Rhodiola Rosea has gotten me really good results. Whereas with lion's mane, we're talking about spirituality. We're talking about being kind of having a better work life balance and being an overall better you. A little bit hard to measure objectively. Let me know if that makes sense. Can you recommend any improvements to my stack? I'm taking 2 grams of lion's mane, 400 milligrams of caffeine. Man, these are big doses. 200 milligrams of L-theanine, 1 gram of spirulina, electrolytes, B vitamin, and multivitamin, and ginkgo biloba. Wow. Nathan, please tell me you're not taking all that at once. If you're spreading it apart, it's a good stack. Would be good to just know a little bit more of what you're trying to do, though. Mike, tell us a single nootropic from your current nootropic stack. Would you want me to just tell you one? Okay, ashwagandha. Where's the best place to go to buy the stuff to build your own stack? I can't think of anywhere else besides like Nootropics Depot, bodybuilding.com, maybe even Amazon. As far as building your own stack, somebody asked this question yesterday. It's pretty much a blend of both. You want to have focus enhancers, and then you want to have nootropics, which are going to help you to fight off stress. And then you pretty much have everything all at once, right? Provided that your hormones are all in check and you're just healthy, right? In your opinion, could lion's mane increase your overall IQ by 20 points? Cayman, I know nothing about IQ. I've never done an IQ test, so I'm the wrong person to ask. I apologize. Best sports stack. L-arginine is really good. Beta-alanine, citrulline malate, take some L-tyrosine, a little bit of caffeine, and creatine. I still feel like creatine is a really good supplement, nootropic, specifically, around working out, whether it's cardio or whether it's weight training. I've been taking 1,500 milligrams of lion's mane for 3 months, and recently I've been feeling the effects lessen. Is this normal? Should I raise my dose? Only then, maybe that's a good time for you to take a little bit of time off of lion's mane. You're already taking a pretty good dose. Take 2 weeks off, get it back, get it back, and at least you know yourself this way, and you can understand that you may benefit by taking it like 2 months on, 1 week off, something like that, and just reset that, right? I've been any experience with psilocybin? Yeah, I've used it like maybe 5 or 6 times. Kind of not overrated. It can have its benefits, but it's kind of scary. Can you take Aniracetam every day? Yeah, we talk about that. I've tried Wellbutrin, but it made me anxious. How long does it take for that side effect to go away, or is it permanent? Josh, I found that most people, when they experience the anxiety up front at the very beginning with Wellbutrin, then they usually do experience there afterwards, so it may not be right for you. With me, I didn't notice that anxiety with Wellbutrin. I pretty much just needed something because I was at like the lowest point in my life at one particular time. And with the help of Wellbutrin, I pretty much got out of that. I immediately just had more interest in pretty much everything, whether it was work, just overall like reversing anhedonia. That's what it was able to do. And I wasn't too worried about being anxious in the first place. But I have seen again and again, if for people that have had issues with anxiety and have been taking prescription meds for anxiety, they've tried using Wellbutrin and they've not seen good results from it, right? So just something to keep in mind. Have you tried any detox methods? Around nootropics, no, but I've tried. I got off caffeine for a year. I've been off of sugar for the most part, like 90% of days I don't take any sugar whatsoever, or like ketchup, right? What else? I went off meat for a year. I've never tried like a pure vegan diet. Maybe that'll come in the future. I've never tried like juice smoothies, anything crazy like that. So I don't. Yeah, Aliran, I don't know. There's a lot of different styles of detoxing these days. 2 grams of lion's mane is okay, or split it up. I like it split up personally. I think I have ADHD, and I would like to know what stimulant I should take. Amir Khan, watch the video I've made on nootropics for studying and nootropics that help me double my income. I think those are the best in addressing specific nootropics to help you with focus. Haha, that stack was over the day. I'm trying to remember. Okay, very cool. Yeah, you just reminded me to take creatine. Yeah, creatine should not be, in the context of working out, I think creatine really is a game changer. Really powerful stuff. Just keep it simple. The monohydrate, the 3 to 5 gram, like take 3 to 5 grams every day. Just make sure that you're taking it properly. For me, what that looked like is, like, if you are to mix creatine in like a bottle, or you put it in a glass, a lot of the times the creatine just sticks to the glass. So what you want to do is use boiling water. That's a neat hack I found off YouTube like 10 years ago or so. So boil water, put it in a cup, then add your creatine and then stir it. And then you'll like a product by Controlled Labs called Green Magnitude. because it's got a nice creatine blend and tastes good at the same time. So it's a nice reminder just to take it. Not that you need it, but if you know you like wasting money like me, then go for it, right? Hey, Mike, what are the other effective ways as nootropics to enhance cognition? Oh, there's so many. But I think the first one most people do underestimate is the power of exercise and working out, specifically cardio. Really good benefits all things: mood, memory, planning, just having more ambition. So get your workouts on track, then your diet, drink a lot of water, and then of course nootropics, right? Be sure to sleep too. What does Rhodiola rosea do in terms of effects? It's really good for fighting fatigue. I describe it like taking a nap in a pill. That's how it feels. You get this mental refreshness feeling, and you also at the same time get a little bit of a physical energy boost, and it can as well suppress your appetite. Rhodiola rosea, the first time that I tried it, it was like probably 10 years ago. I bought this expensive like $45 bottle, and I loved it, but I was sad because it was so expensive that I couldn't ever go buy it again. And now thankfully I can take it, and just for me anyway, I find Rhodiola rosea has this powerful acute effect. It's not something which I need to take for like a week to notice the benefits from. I take 300 milligrams of Rhodiola rosea in the afternoon, and I can tell that it's working. I definitely get this energy boost. It's really nice. Wellbutrin equals regaining interest in doing shit in life. That is right. Please include cycling recommendations when reviewing. Thanks. Yeah, DeepMind. I'll start doing that more if it's requested. Synapsa versus Bacognize from your personal experience. One second. I'm just looking at all the questions. So I just want to make sure I didn't leave anything else out. Is there any solid place? Okay, ignore that one. I take creatine straight from the bottle. Okay, that's funny. Any nootropic recommendations to reduce hunger? What else do we got here? What is the nootropic you credit for your success? What is the effect of L-tyrosine when compared with mucuna, pruriens, L-dopa? Okay, cool. And then I'll stop it there. Okay, so first question, Synapsa versus Bacognize from your personal experience. I like them both. I'm like the same dose works with both of them, like 300 milligrams. Both of them seem to work well with memory. I'm going back and forth. I think I like the Synapsa more. Honestly, Nika, doesn't make too much of a difference. Both are going to help you the same way with fighting stress. Maybe getting better sleep if you're somebody that does experience this, like or if you have the inability to shut things off just right before bed. So both are very powerful. Let's learn what works for you. Does anybody else have feedback on that? I'd be curious to know what you like more, if it's the Synapse or the Bacognize. With Bacopa, it's interesting though. Across different brands, different types, it's really consistent. Even with Rhodiola rosea, it's not like Lion's Mane, in which Lion's Mane I pretty much say go with 8-to-1. That is it. ND, because the other ones are very inconsistent. They're unpredictable. A lot of the times they're bad, and you can get bad side effects from. But with like Rhodiola rosea and Bacopa, I mean, 5, 6, 7 different brands, they all seem to work just as well, right? Any nootropic recommendations to reduce hunger? I mentioned Rhodiola rosea and L-tyrosine. Those are some of the safer ones. And then maybe not so safe, ephedrine is really strong. I think it's the best appetite suppressant out there. As well, we haven't talked too much about green tea extract, or even caffeinated green tea or decaf green tea can definitely blunt your appetite. What is the one nootropic you credit for your success? I would say caffeine, just not really because of the caffeine, but because caffeine is what caused me to have the energy to go and start exercising. And then once you start exercising and you get in that, and you get consistent with that, then you start being more on point with your food habits and then your life habits, and everything all kind of puts itself together, right? What is the effect of L-tyrosine when compared to mucuna? L-tyrosine for me anyway is a little bit more shorter lasting versus L-dopa. Michael says Oxy 600, Annie 750, Parastam 850, Nupep 30, 270 CDP choline. My question, should I take more choline? No, I think you're okay. I think if you feel, if I were you, if you have more choline, just try it. Just try taking a little bit more. Try that for 4 or 5 days and see if you notice any benefit. If not, then it's fine without. I've heard good things with Rhodiola. What are your thoughts on that? I would DeepMind. I've not tried that form yet, so I will, and I'll do a video on that. Have you used Shodan? No, I have not used Shodan. What is your opinion on microdosing aniracetam so you can take it every single day of the week, all year round? Microdosing, Johnson, I think it depends how much. If you take too little on your last time, like 100 milligrams, I hate to say it, but you just won't notice it. What is the best stack for motivation / social anxiety? Bro, watch the video I've made on top 5 nootropics for stress and anxiety, because I would recommend that you take those and then you do look into the racetams and choline, and I think together you may find a stack that works for you. Anyone want to compare stacks / chat with me about that on nootropics? If yeah, I don't know how that would happen, because one thing which I hate about YouTube is you cannot direct message people. But perhaps, Nathan, you can drop a comment on this live stream afterwards, and then if anyone else wants to chat with Nathan, you guys can go ahead and coordinate that. Starting to Discord. Yep, I know. He makes Nathan, guys, we're almost at 10,000 subscribers, so don't forget to share this damn thing so we can get there, because we don't want to get there October 12th. We want to get there in the next hour, if that's possible. Get 100 subscribers in an hour. I think we're at 9,900, something like that. Nathan asks, what do you think of that Cortex guy? He makes me never want to take nootropics. Nathan, what do I think of him? I don't watch too much of his stuff, so I don't know. But I mean, he seems very intelligent. He seems to know a lot about nootropics. I'm not sure about his product, though. People have asked me about his product. I mean, it looked okay. It didn't look that fascinating, that intriguing. It wouldn't be something that I would personally buy. Or if I were to buy, then I would buy some other things to go along with it. So you could, I mean, to ask me something about what he said, like if you were to address one of his videos and something he said and ask me my feedback on that, then perhaps I can answer. But what do I think of him as a guy? I don't know much about him, right? I mean, he seems like a cool guy, and he's raising awareness for nootropics, so I'm all for that. What's the usual basic nootropic of inositol to take? I'm not sure with inositol. I've tried it a few times. Just follow whatever you get on the supplement bottle. Green tea plus piperine is great to calm energy for me. Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. With green tea, though, the caffeinated one, I do just like, I get this crash, which is a little bit uncomfortable, although it is to be expected because it does have the caffeine. Is in the place of creatine. Should I take Rhodiola Rosea on an empty stomach? Nawaf, I find that it works just as well on an empty stomach versus with a meal. Don't expect to get irritability or any sort of uncomfort if you take it fasted. Any nootropic for OCD? For OCD, one of the things with the most promise is N-acetyl L-cysteine, which has not been discussed too much on this channel. That's something people have found just to replace bad habits like smoking even, or addictive behavior, or OCD. And then as well, combine that with meditation and you should be in a good spot. What's your take on armodafinil? I found that modafinil is better specifically for focus, for multitasking, for getting more done. But armodafinil, I did find, worked a lot better when it came to being in a state of being sleep deprived, right? So with armodafinil, you're able to consistently go like 5 hours of sleep per day, and you're still able to take naps in the middle of the day, which is very cool. So like sleep 5 hours, you can take your dose of armodafinil first thing in the morning. A few hours afterwards, you can take a nap, and then you can go about your day. And you still really feel cognitively there. It's pretty damn cool. His product was good. Yeah, okay. Hey, Mike, what's your topic for your next video? The video is on, is modafinil right for you? And I address taking modafinil, who's it right for, who's it not right for, what kind of activities will it work good for, what type of activities is modafinil going to hurt you for. By the way, guys, talking about that, are there any nootropics you want me to review in a future video, or do you have any recommendation as far as what I should make my next video on? Let me know, because I'm trying to pump out some new content this long weekend. Any nootropic? And the healthiest snack food is popcorn. Alex, isn't that right? He's so tired. Oh my gosh. And guys, that is a wrap. Hope you all found this helpful. I appreciate all of you. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers. And be sure to drop a comment on this after it's done. And I know a lot of people want to engage with each other and just interact. So I'll welcome you all just to chat in the comment section once I end this. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care and have a wonderful night. Talk to you guys soon.